Yeah, so I visited Epernay, I guess it was almost 2 years ago now, um, as the house was thinking about the release of this new collection, Imperial, thinking about ways to commemorate that moment and to invite me into the house to develop a creation that would celebrate and in some ways house this new collection. During my initial visit here in the cellars, as you enter the cellar, there is a stained glass window or stained glass artwork at the entrance of the cellar, which was created at the end of the 19th century. And there are some angels, there's a view of the rolling hills of the vineyards. And I created this work behind me, which is a shallow relief work. It's all in white, much like the surface of the cavern in here. It's this chalk, right? So it references the actual earth where the vines are grown, and depicts sort of references to Chateau Sarin, which is the traditional house here in Epernay, where people are invited to stay. Yes, Chateau Sarin, the rolling hills, the cherubs, kind of bringing in all of these references. And the original design was created as a round design that would wrap around the bottle itself. And we have the over bottle, which is also being presented as part of the collaboration. This version here is broken, right? It has the kind of the implication of age to it. It has crystal inside of it, which creates this dynamic where the work appears to be sort of in a state of decay or erosion, but it is also growing. So there's this kind of back and forth between something falling apart and something growing together. Yeah, so as a way to celebrate the collection Imperial, we've created a special edition bottle, which actually houses the champagne itself. It also comes in a very beautifully designed wood crate, which has a shallow relief bronze cast on the exterior of it. I always think about, with champagne, you're often thinking about time. When you drink it, you're looking at the label, you're looking at the year, and you're thinking about this previous moment when the grapes were being grown, all right, when the wine was being aged. And I try to imbue some of this quality with the physical artwork that is housing it. Yeah, so the process for creating all of this obviously started with my visit here in Epernay, which was probably 2.5 years ago. And I began thinking about the stained glass window. I took a lot of images while I was here during the first visit and sketched out some various configurations. I would say the whole thing probably took 1.5 years to create everything. So much of my work is really thinking about time, right? The way that we move through it, the way that we package it, the way that the way that it sort of governs so much of how we experience our lives. Champagne also has this very unique property where part of the experience of it is imagining a moment that was before, right? We talked about before the year on the bottle. Obviously, this is a very old house, and we also have that relationship with the house where we understand it's been around for hundreds of years. My work is about playing with this notion of time, and so it relates quite well to a project with champagne. So if we look at the actual relief, if we see the angel on the left side, this is directly drawn from the stained glass window, as are the two cherubs in the center. The right side was a new creation, which is an image of the Chateau Sarin. There's a plaque with the Moet Chandon, which was a photograph that I took in the vineyards themselves. And on the right, one of the original wooden casks that the champagne was originally aged in. Now it's a kind of mixture, and Benoit spoke a lot about the quality of wine that is aged in oak, wine that's aged in metal, wine that's aged in glass, and how the different characteristics of this, for him, is a kind of alchemy of this mixture to create the collection imperial. Yeah, so this work began with his drawing, right? A kind of montage or collage of these various elements. Then it was partially sculpted in clay, as well as digitally sculpted in 3D. Obviously, when you look at a shallow relief, it's a sculptural image that has very little depth. So there's a bit of illusion, right, that you're playing with. It was very important in this case to light it so that there's a shadow, right? Gives the creation of this kind of, this feeling of a 3D image in a very shallow two-dimensional sculpture. The work was cast in 3 sections, with the edges of it having this eroded quality and the crystals sort of having this feeling that maybe this is something that was uncovered from the past, right? Even though it's new. I think this collaboration for me was very much about alchemy, the alchemy of champagne, and the consideration of time. Yeah, you know, when I originally visited the cellars, seeing obviously the wine being aged, the original cast from the Napoleonic era, which was originally in this location, being able to contribute to this history and knowing that this piece could be here for hundreds of years, you know, it's a beautiful story. Yeah, I think for visitors coming here, this work is at the end of a very long corridor, and you're passing these entrances that contain all of the bottles, right, which contribute to the collection imperial. You know, it's adding a different character to their experience. I mean, as this piece will be here for forever, I think so many people will associate their experience of coming here, maybe of drinking the champagne later with it. So it's kind of an ongoing new experience.